Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating intersection between massive, sweeping tech shifts and everyday human psychology. With artificial intelligence moving at just lightning speed right now, cultivating what we call a growth mindset, well, it's really no longer just a nice-to-have HR initiative. Honestly, it is a mandatory survival skill for anyone who wants to keep their edge in the modern world. Let's get into it.
Here is a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll start with the AI tipping point, then unpack the two mindsets, clear up false growth mindsets, look at the proof behind it, see it all in action at Microsoft, and finally end with humans and machines collaborating.
Okay, Section 1, the AI tipping point and the compressing timeline of business success.
So are we tethered to the old curve? Are we ready to leap? Recent reports from Deloitte and McKinsey raise a pretty massive red flag. A staggering 72% of leaders feel totally unprepared for the AI wave. We are literally at a tipping point right now, where clinging to those old, predictable ways of working is actually the absolute riskiest thing you can do.
And here's exactly why that old way is failing. In business, we always talk about the classic S-curve of growth, right? You have this gradual lift, then a period of rapid acceleration, and finally, an eventual plateau. But Deloitte's data shows this timeline is rapidly collapsing. Because of AI, the climb accelerates so fast that the plateau just arrives way sooner. Organizations are now being forced to leap from one S-curve to the next almost continuously. Those long, comfortable cycles of planning, they're out. Real-time, on-the-fly adaptation is in.
And the data on how companies handle this is just wild. Look at the split. 59% of organizations are taking a purely tech-focused approach to AI. But here's the kicker. They are actually 1.6 times more likely to miss their ROI expectations compared to the ones taking a human-centric approach. Why is that? Well, because tech is easily copied. Human adaptability, though, that is your true competitive mode.
Which brings us to Section 2, the two mindsets. Let's zoom right into the psychology of adaptation.
Stanford researcher Carol Dweck outlines this stark, really fundamental contrast in how we learn. On one side, you have the fixed mindset. This is the belief that your intelligence is static. It's just the hand you were dealt. Mistakes are absolutely terrifying here because, in this mindset, failure basically means you just aren't smart enough. But on the flip side, the growth mindset treats that dealt hand as merely a starting point. Failure isn't some final judgment on your worth. It's just another data point for learning.
Dweck beautifully summarized this when she was observing students facing really tough challenges. The fixed mindset students were just crushed by the immediate judgment of their failure, what she calls the tyranny of now. But the growth mindset students, they embraced the power of yet. They basically framed challenges as things they just hadn't figured out. Yet. And let's be real, when an AI update changes your entire job workflow overnight, you desperately need that power of yet.
Moving on to Section 3, beware false growth mindsets. Time to clear up a few major misconceptions.
As this whole concept blew up in popularity, a false growth mindset started emerging. Researchers are quick to point out that a true growth mindset isn't just handing out participation trophies or saying, hey, good effort, when a project completely tanks. Not at all. It actually requires tying hard work directly to actual learning. It's about forensically analyzing why something failed and then building tangible, real-world strategies to crush that hurdle the next time around.
All right, Section 4, the proof behind it. Let's look at the hard statistical evidence of mindset impact.
Because you might be wondering if this actually works in practice. Imagine testing a psychological concept on 12,000 ninth graders across the U.S. This was not some tiny, controlled laboratory test, okay? The National Study of Learning Mindsets was a massive, real-world randomized trial.
And the results? Truly incredible. By using brief, light-touch interventions that took less than an hour, researchers saw highly significant jumps in performance. We're talking a 0.19 effect size for at-risk students, which is huge. In the real world, this translated to higher grades and a dramatic increase in students willingly choosing to take on harder math classes. The big takeaway here? You absolutely do not need $1 million, multi-year corporate overhaul. Precise, tiny shifts in perspective can rapidly change behavior.
Section 5, Scaling Mindset at Microsoft. Let's see how this goes from personal psychology to a massive global enterprise. Under Satya Nadella, Microsoft realized pretty quickly they couldn't just coast. They needed a culture of aggressive, continuous innovation. It's fascinating how they structure this full-spectrum innovation. They perfectly balance Horizon 1, which is your practical, daily improvements, with Horizon 2, new business models, going all the way out to Horizon 3, which are your groundbreaking moonshots like quantum computing and generative AI. They have literally structurally wired continuous learning right into every single level of the company.
And they put serious muscle behind it, too. Through an initiative called The Garage, Microsoft runs this flagship global hackathon that attracts a staggering 70,000 participants. Think about that number. It shatters corporate silos and proves to their employees that leadership actually values doers, not just talkers. It's essentially the ultimate corporate sandbox, experimenting, failing, and pitching entirely without fear. Finally, Section 6, Humans and Machines Together, the ultimate payoff of all this adaptability. So how does this actually fit into our new day-to-day reality? Deloitte research warns that we have to abandon the old human plus machine model, the one where we just work side by side on separate tasks. Instead, we need to unlock human times machine synergy. This literally means redesigning workflows from the ground up, treating AI agents as actual collaborators. And doing that requires a relentless growth mindset to constantly learn how to prompt, manage, and elevate the machine's output. Synthesizing insights from Purdue Global and Stanford, here are 3 ways you can start building your human edge today. 1. Reframe your challenges. When AI breaks your usual workflow, treat it as a brand new skill to unlock. 2. Force the word yet into your vocabulary. You don't know how to write the perfect ChatGPT prompt yet. And 3. Celebrate others. In a really fast-changing world, knowledge hoarding is deadly. Cheer on your peers, and honestly, steal their best problem-solving strategies.
I'm going to leave you with this to chew on. That S-curve is compressing, and technology is advancing faster than it ever has before. So as you step back into your rapidly changing workflow today, how will you redesign your own relationship with learning to turn AI disruption into your own personal momentum? Honestly, cultivating that growth mindset might just be the highest ROI investment you make this entire year. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.